perfectly comfort my soul. For thou hast judged me worthy to show me the last times. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Yeah, which was the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire. And we're in the Roman Empire all over again. When you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, it speaks about, the 12th chapter too. All right? Go ahead.
It says, but it was not expounded unto him, therefore now I declare it unto thee. Behold, the days will come that there shall arise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another, whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12.
And we already read that in the 11th chapter. That was Augustus. Okay? Go ahead.
And this do the 12 wings signify which thou sawest. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, and that thou sawest not to go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof. This is the interpretation, that after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. And whereas thou sawest the 8 small under feathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation, that in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose times shall be but small, and their years swift.
Yeah, so when you take the time out and to read about all those Caesars, you had major Caesars and you had minor Caesars. That, like I said, we just read about 3 of them that they all ruled within 1 year. They were all put to death. Go ahead.
And 2 of them shall perish, the middle time approaching. 4 shall be kept until their end begin to approach, but 2 shall be kept unto the end. And whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In his last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion of the earth, and of those that dwell therein, with much oppression above all those that were before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. And whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signified that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword, for the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And whereas thou sawest 2 feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, it signified that these are they whom the highest hath kept unto their end. And this is the small kingdom, and full of trouble, as thou sawest. And the lion whom thou sawest rising up from the wood, and roaring, and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness with all the words which thou hast heard, this is the anointed which the highest hath kept for them, and for their wickedness unto the end. He shall reprove them, and shall upbraid them with their cruelty.
The anointed is the Lord himself. Go to Revelation, the 5th chapter, in the 1st verse. You see how everything is put together? See, this is not for everybody. This right here, this knowledge right here is only for the elect, the chosen, the elect. That's why even if people come and sneak and watch these videos, they still ain't going to get it, because the Most High has to open. Even though we breaking it down to you, the Most High puts a stumbling block in your mind where you see something else. All you niggas are going off. That don't mean that. Well, that's why we're not concerned about who watches our videos and figure they're going to get it. You guys that ain't meant to get it, you ain't going to get it anyway. All right? Say that, brother.
Yeah, the Holy Scriptures say that that these words are spiritually discerned to the ones who is not meant to get it.
That's why clowns like Comfy is not going to break this down to you, man. You know, that's why Brother Lahab is not going to break. That's why he only made 1 video, man. How you going to learn on 1 video? What was that, a 5-minute video? Was you going to watch that over and over in the trance and get deeper and deeper? You start to levitate when you watch his videos, man? Yeah, with the Tahitian, that's a real joke, man. Go ahead. The only place you're going to get the real knowledge, and you ain't going to get it from Abu, and you ain't going to get it from false prophet 666. Go ahead.
It's Revelation 5:1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven nor on earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah.
There it is, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So when you go back to the Apocrypha, all right, when you go back to the Apocrypha, that lion that rebuked the eagle, as we all know, is Rome. If your brain is working right, all right, and the lion is the anointed, which is the Lord. Go ahead.
And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not, for the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
That's it, because it's all spiritual. Just like the brother said, just like the researcher said, this is all spiritually discerned, all right? Okay, we don't have to read no more of that. In other words, like I said, we're not going to go fully and just go through the whole 11th chapter and the whole 12th chapter, because it's going to take too much time. But you already have the blueprint, so you can find it yourself. You put the pieces together, okay? You got to put in work. You got to put in work, you know? You can't be mimicking. You can't be a mockingbird. You know, you can't be a parrot, all right? That's why a lot of those guys stayed under Comfy and Maria, because they don't have the spirit to go on their own. That's why you got a bunch of guys that's under Lahab, because the spirit's not with them. They're grown-ass men, but the spirit's not with them to go on their own, all right? But the Most High set up certain groups to be together, but all these groups was supposed to grow in the spirit. If you watch the brothers in our camp, even the new brothers that's been in the camp for less than a year, they're speaking and breaking down things. They're on a higher level than all them other camps, man. Because this is all spiritual, all right? Okay, now let's go to, okay, we finished that. Now, where did I say we're going to go? Let's go to Daniel 8. Now we're going to switch gears. Now we're going to Now we're just going to go to another prophecy, all right? Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
Yeah, as you read down, you're going to find out that it's Alexander the creep. Go ahead.
And touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river.
That's the Medo-Persian Empire, where it's going to even break it down as you read on. Go ahead.
And ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great. And
there's a story of the last, was that Darius III? Codomatos? Where he took, matter of fact, if you can get that story, or if you remember it, you can speak on it right quick. You know where it's at? Just put up Codomatos, right? Right, which is Darius III. Because when Alexander took these people down, man, he the last one he killed, he took this guy's wife. All right. So as soon as you find it, let me know. Got it?
Yeah, that's correct. This is from Wikipedia. Darius III of Persia. Darius III, 380 to 330 BC, was the last king of the Achaemenid Empire of Persia. It was under his rule that the Persian Empire was conquered during the wars of Alexander the Great. Now I know I had read that before. There was a battle that Alexander fought between Darius, which was the deciding battle where Darius, he fled the battlefield, and basically Alexander took his wife. Now, I'll hand it back to the speaker and see if I can find that exact account.
Okay, you can speak, brother.
Right. So basically, this is historical accounts of what took place. You know, because there's history in the like the Elder Tar brought out years ago. He said the Bible is not just a book of law, statutes, and commandments. The Bible is also a book of judgments. It's a book of prophecies. So that's why we go into certain prophecies and break certain things down. Sometimes you go into breaking down the stories about the Israelite foreigners, you know, and circumcision and other things of that nature. But then sometimes you go into the prophecies, which that's what we're going into right now. You said you found it, brother?
Yep. This is the account, and I'll read it real quick. This is from Wikipedia. This is dealing with the Battle of Gaugamela. All right. Circumstances was more in Darius' favor at the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BC. He had a good number of troops who had been organized on the battlefield property. He had the support of the armies of several of his satraps, and the ground on the battlefield was almost perfectly even, so as not to impede movement. Despite all these beneficial factors, he still ended up losing to Alexander. Now remember, this is the Battle of Gaugamela, 331 BC. When Darius perceived the fierce attack of Alexander as at Issus, and that was another battle that they had, all right, at Issus, he turned his chariot around and was the first to flee. Now this is Darius. Once again abandoned all of his soldiers and his property to be taken by Alexander. Many Persian soldiers lost their lives that day, so many in fact that after the battle, the casualties of the enemy ensured that Darius would never again raise an imperial army. Darius then fled to Ecbatana and attempted to raise a third army, while Alexander took possession of Babylon, Susa, and the Persian capital of Persepolis. Alexander could have declared victory after the capture of Persepolis, but he instead decided to pursue Darius.
Okay, now where we leave off at?
Daniel chapter 8, verse 7. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven.
See, that was the four generals that came from him. Go ahead.
And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land.
Yeah, that was a line of Seleucid's line. Go ahead.
It says, and it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground.
The hosts and the stars of the hosts and the stars that was cast to the ground is talking about the nation of Israel, where we are represented as the host of heaven and the stars. Go ahead.
And stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
That's why coming up is Hanukkah, because Hanukkah was all about when Antiochus Epiphanes came in and he defiled the temple, right? And what happened was when it said that he came up against the prince, that's talking about the Lord himself. He defied the Lord himself. Go ahead.
And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking. And
this is when he was trying to push the Hellenist philosophy, the Greek philosophy, where they had Israelites. If they had children, they couldn't call them Hebrew names. They had to give them Greek names. They couldn't circumcise themselves. They were supposed to bow down to the chief god was Zeus.